You ever sit in a room full of people and feel more alone than when you're by yourself? It's not about being surrounded. It's about feeling unheard, unseen, and unvalued. You spoke, but no one listened. You loved, but no one felt it. And slowly, something inside you broke. But here's the thing. They didn't realize that breaking wasn't the end. It was the beginning. When someone betrays you, disrespects you, or uses you, they expect a reaction. They're used to people screaming, crying, chasing. That's the pattern. That's the script. But what happens when you flip the narrative? What happens when you go silent? When you cut off access, you leave them with nothing but themselves. And silence. It's not just the absence of noise. Silence is a declaration. It says, "You're not worth my voice anymore." Let me tell you something most people won't admit. Pain changes you, but silence evolves you. Silence is where the broken version of you dies, and the focused, untouchable version rises. You stop expecting, stop asking, stop hoping. That hollow place inside becomes fertile ground for something far stronger than pain. Indifference. And indifference, that's the death of your weakness. Imagine this. Someone hurt you, lied to you, humiliated you. They expected you to fight, to scream, to break down. But instead, you disappeared. No closure, no explanation. Now they're sitting there at 2 a.m., scrolling through old messages, wondering why you never came back. That's the power of silence. It haunts them without you having to say a word. Every unanswered message, every time they see someone who reminds them of you, every moment they feel the absence of your loyalty, it stabs deeper than any argument ever could. Here's the truth. People don't value you until you're inaccessible. When you were loyal, present, and giving, they treated you like background noise. But the moment you vanish, suddenly you're all they can think about. Funny how that works, isn't it? They're not mourning you. They're mourning the loss of control. They're mourning the fact that they can't use you, drain you, or lean on you anymore. And trust me, that realization burns them more than anything you could ever say. Now let's talk about growth. Real growth doesn't come from revenge. It comes from elevation. From becoming so untouchable, so self-assured, that their opinion no longer matters. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to scream to be heard. Your silence speaks louder than any words ever could. And while they're out there pretending nothing happened, laughing loud to hide the cracks, you're evolving. Every day in silence brings you closer to your rebirth, a version of yourself that doesn't beg, doesn't explain, doesn't chase. This new version of you walks into rooms with quiet confidence. You survived what should have killed you, and that makes you dangerous. Not because you're loud or aggressive, but because you carry storms in your soul that no one sees coming. You don't raise your voice because your silence is louder than any scream. And when they try to come back, and they will, they'll find nothing. No guilt, no anger, just indifference. Because you've moved on completely. Some people don't deserve closure. They don't deserve to know how much they hurt you. So don't give them the chance to defend themselves with lies. Don't hand them another opportunity to manipulate the truth. Just disappear like smoke. And the silence you leave behind, that's the eulogy. That's the funeral. That's the final goodbye you never had to say. Because here's the cold, hard truth. They knew what they were doing. Every ignored message, every lie to your face, every time they made you feel like your emotions were too much, they knew. They just thought you'd always stay. But now they know what real loss feels like. And it's not fireworks or explosions. It's quiet, cold, empty, just like the space you left behind. You're not broken. You're done. Done trying to convince people to care. Done explaining yourself to deaf ears. Done handing out your loyalty to people who treat it like trash. Now, you walk alone. Not because you have to, but because you choose to. And in that solitude, you find yourself again. Not the old version, not the broken one, but the version that rose from the ashes. The version that isn't afraid to cut off everything that costs peace. The version that doesn't look back. They'll talk, of course. They'll say you changed, that you became cold. But you're not cold. You're cured. Cured from the disease of people-pleasing. Cured from the addiction of toxic love. Cured from the sickness of giving everything to people who gave nothing in return. And your silence, that's the medicine. That's the reset button. That's the quiet revolution that saved your soul. So let them choke on the silence. Let them drown in the stillness. Let them feel the weight of your absence in every breath they take. Because you've already moved on. You've already evolved. You're already becoming everything they said you couldn't be. And you did it without a word, without drama, without revenge. Just silence. Sweet, sharp, surgical silence. Next time they come knocking, let them knock. Let them wonder. Let them suffer in the prison they built out of your silence. And you? Keep walking. Head high, eyes forward. No guilt, no regret, no noise. Just that deadly calm. The kind that only comes after surviving the storm and realizing the real power was never in your voice. It was in your silence.